Okay, so we have a new indie. Ooh, what would you call this? It's like a I don't know, man. Hmm. Like a look at life type of film. You feel me? Right? It's a drama, but it's dealing with that street level shit. Right? It's trying to take a look at stuff and the influences and things that kind of impact people's lives, which could determine the path we take. Right? That is what this new film, Yes Man, is kind of about, right? It's a feature debut from Daniel Glenn-Barbour. He wrote and directed the film. He produces along with Enrico Tessarian and Marcus Sebastian Palmvig McNear. Actually, I think they're two different people. No, that's the same person. Yeah, it's a long ass name. Okay. Music is from Jonathan Clark. Um, you also get some help on the piece from Andre Farah and Adrian Gatta Grant. Okay. So, um, our cast, we have Darrell, who is played by Kieton Saunders-Browne. We got Ryan, played by Keon Martial Phillip, and Ben, played by Kirk Smith. Darrell's parents, we've got Amy, played by Emma Elizabeth Wright. His dad, Greg, played by Adrian Gator Grant. Um, and his brother, Tommy, played by Rufus Shalagine. Now there's Julie, right, played by Nash. Actually, let's go with some of the peoples that Darrell's runs with, along with Ryan and Ben. We got Tomboy, played by Gareth Mort. Big Barry, played by Oliver Kitteridge. Troy, played by Daniel Glenn-Barbour. There's Tumax, played by Victor Ekinga. Um, got Mikey, played by Al Latif Akanabi. Um, then we've got, Julie, right, who is played by Nash Hernandez. Um, there is uh, Natasha, played by Zara Hunter. Lizzie, played by Chloe Sandington, and Tina, played by Hannah Judith Wilcock. It's also Anita, played by Elizabeth Christio, and Isabella, played by Ida Di Terralizzi. And we see them. They're from the corporate side of things. Okay. So, the gist of this film is this, right? It follows Darrell, an intern at a corporate company who does not buy into the white collar culture of going along to get along. He chooses to surround himself amongst a few bad apples. In many ways, it mirrors the task set for him within the corporate world, but with more brotherhood and extreme punishments for defying instructions. Darrell finds himself stuck between a rock and a hard place. The advice given to him by Ben, a violent group leader, keeps him narrow minded about his environment until his friend Ryan, an intelligent hustler with dreams of opening a restaurant, shows Darrell to think about what he wants for his future. Surrounded by people like Julie and his parents, Amy and Greg, Darrell is constantly reminded of a possibility of a legit and honest way of living. However, their message falls on deaf ears because the image of being accepted by your peers and making quick and loads of money is more appealing to a young teen. Hmm. And it says, Yes Man provides context for those who fear where their child, little brother, cousins, or any loved ones may be exposed to influences outside their watch. So, yeah, that's the film, right? And I look, for a first feature, this is good. This is really good. You know, there's stuff in it which I liked, stuff in it I wasn't quite sure if it worked. Right now, I like the way it was, put together. You know what I mean? Like the use of close-ups and some of the angles and everything like that. I thought it helped tell that story and bring you into the the orbital influence of Darrell and those around him. So I thought that was solid. You know what I mean? And there were things that were said that were poignant, that did work, right? Because essentially, as it's saying, right, it's got this guy Darrell who doesn't want to conform with the corporate world, which a little OTT, you know what I mean? Now listen, definitely bullshit happens in the office, right? And people do get used, manipulated, all of those things. Like I don't know if it's always as blatant as what we see here. Now, it's not to say that has never happened, right? But a lot of times it's a little bit more so, right? But even then, we look at what happens to him there compared to what is, happening to him on a daily, right? With these peoples supposedly. And you'd be like, boy, you know what I mean? Might have been better to be the intern, right? Who like we don't know if he's getting paid for that, you know, but it's essentially something for the CV, and especially when we learn about his background. Yeah, if you want to make that better life, there's some things that you might have to do, you know, but you kind of have to weigh up the things, right? Like how much will this impact my life, right? What are the risks? What are the rewards? All of that. You have to do that SWOT analysis. You feel me? And it is very evident that Darrell does not do that. You know what I mean? It's there is definitely, going for that easy option, right? Going for the bright lights. But yeah, I don't know. At the start, it's hard to tell, what Darrell is actually getting out of being around these peoples. Like on that money front, because yeah, it's just like, has he got money? Like what you know what I mean? We don't really know. So when you're looking at it, you do you can wonder and be like, yo, what's he? Because people don't treat Darrell very well. You know what I mean? It's not treated very well at all. Which then, you kind of feel with Ryan's help, things may change, right? Things may change. And it's a funny one because there is this talk of loyalty, which man, you kind of feel like we don't really see it, right? We don't really see it. We also, I don't know if the whole Julie situation, if we don't necessarily kind of see this thing that Julie might see, right? Now, Darrell at the start is this kind of hangdog kind of demeanor, right? Now, you can understand that Julie might go, oh, well, I mean, yeah, he seems nice, right? He seems nice, but he's just doesn't believe in himself, which she says. But we don't see anything more than that because the things that Darrell says aren't necessarily backed up by his actions, you know? And then he's in a good situation. He still makes horrible choices that you're just like, okay, because it's like, what's the consequences of not doing this thing, right? And doing the other? We have no clue. We don't really see it. Now you can assume, but seeing what these peoples do, I don't know if there's really going to be follow through, right? It's this hard thing to determine because we don't know. And you have to go by certain actions that we see, you know? So that makes it a little bit tricky in some of the instances, right? I kind of feel some of the dialogue it feels a little forced, right? We get the COVID stuff thrown in there. Kind of felt it didn't need to be there, right? Other than a guy at the start with a mask on, we're seeing a lot of other things, which kind of be like, okay, well, if you're trying to say this is around COVID, then all of these scenes, right, either shouldn't be going down, or you have the people going, you know what, fuck it, I ain't going by these guidelines. It's irritating me. I need to get out. I need to do this. But we don't get that either. So then it just feels like just no need to reference, right? Because this essentially it could be set whenever, right? You wouldn't have to say it's set between 2020 and 2022. Like it could have been 2018. Like, you know what I mean? There's nothing that would kind of like make the film have to happen in this time frame. So there's some things like that, and we get certain things getting said, like when the girls are talking about feminism and rights and wokeism and just all of this, the conversation felt a little bit forced, right? To put in certain terms and stuff like that, you know, which was one of them things, which they kind of like it doesn't ruin the film, right? But you just be like, I wish they didn't. Wish they did, right? But as I said, look, there's other parts of the film that work very well, you know? Like we get these interactions, we get these nice moments between people, right? Some of the stuff that Ryan's trying to impart with Darrell, you know? Some of the stuff Julie is talking to him about, like that works. That's good, you know? You wonder because we get a 3-month jump, right? And things seem to be changing for Darrell in some aspects, but it's we see him start doing these other things, right? And you kind of wonder, okay, so why, right? Why would you do that? Why, when someone told you a thing, don't bring these people, then you do that thing, right? It's like, why would he do these things? Because there's not actually a need to do those things, you know but we don't know why, right? There's this assumption now that he's making more money, so you kind of think to yourself, why is he still in this situation, right? If money is coming, then surely he could move to his own spot. right? So there's a certain things which, yeah, we don't really get any context around, which I feel, you know, sometimes you don't need to know certain things. It's fine. Story flows regardless. Sometimes that little extra context adds to your connection to that character, to be able to, see why someone's making these decisions, why they're traveling down this path and not that path, you know? So I think it does get a little jumbled in places, like all of these justifications and why he would carry these things now, right? That's, yeah, you're a little bit baffled around those things. But as I said, as a first time feature, it's definitely got promise, right? You can look at it and go, okay, well, yeah, the director, he knows shots, right? He can work with that flow. We do get some very good performances from the actors involved, right? The acting is solid. Acting is solid. It's just some of the dialogue that is, not the best, right? But yeah, there are definitely a lot of promising elements in this thing, so I would definitely say it is, it's worth the watch, right? If you enjoyed Bluff, which we covered a few weeks back, I think you would enjoy this. It's out on the 13th, people, so Monday. Be able to pick it up from, just all typical um all your typical spots, right? All the places you go for your film enjoyment. So, people, there you go. Yes, man, and not the Jim Carrey one, right? This is the new shit. Okay, so 13th, go check it.